say something where this black girl has something to say. And I know I haven't been live over here on YouTube in a while, but I've been posting consistently. So I'm proud of me for that. I am. After Vlogmas, I had been going live over here on YouTube for Vlogmas all December. And then January kind of came and I was doing my thing on TikTok and I made a TikTok video. It kind of blew up. So for those of you that see in the content, is like, what is this class she's teaching? It is called Racial Disparities in Healthcare. So I'm teaching it over on TikTok every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so I just was like, I thought about it today. I said, I haven't been live. As a matter of fact, let me pull out the microphone so it probably could sound a lot better. I'm like, I have not been live on YouTube in a while. That should be better. I have not been live on YouTube since the year started. Where's my other phone? Yeah, I have not been live since the year started. So I was like, you know what? I need to get back over here to YouTube because this is where I was going live. I was consistent with it. Even though I've been posting the content is the course that I'm teaching. And so I just wanted to join in and tell those who are over here on YouTube and not on TikTok about the course. It is called Racial Disparities in Healthcare. I have a doctorate in health science. And my research is all about health equity, diversity, inclusion, equity, healthcare for all. When you really think about it, but a lot of my research goes back to the Black woman's experience and her accessibility to healthcare. And what does, how can policies affect that? There's many policies that affect the way that we gain access to healthcare. So if you are hearing me, go ahead and interact with this live. If you can hear me loud and clear, I I need to see something. I don't know if my mic is on. Let's see. It's green. It should be on. You should be able to hear me nice and clear. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. In all honesty, my daughter just turned 15, so I've been, ripping and running and doing the prep for that. So all of that content is coming soon. In an attempt to, save coin. I did her hair, I did her lashes, got her some press-ons. We had a good time. This is just like a recap of pretty much the first half. It's not the first half, but like maybe the first quarter of 2025, right? Um, how's job hunting going? It's not going, like if we're being honest. Uh, but I felt liberated as of yesterday. I deleted Indeed, and that was like, wow, that needed to be done because the scam jobs are it's like it's a one off. For every 5 jobs that don't call you or whatever, it might be one. That's too many for me. But now it's like back to back. Every week there's a job calling and it's not a real job is crazy. And I link it all back to LinkedIn because can you hear me? If y'all can hear me, go ahead and comment on this live if you can hear me. Go ahead and comment on this live if you can hear me. I just want to know. Let me see. I don't want to do a green screen. Anywho, so in the caption or in the description of this video, there will be some links for you to interact with. If you can hear me, just comment on this live, a comment, a like, or something, because I don't know if you can hear me, but I see y'all coming in, so I appreciate that. Let's see, let me just fix the light on here so I can definitely see y'all. But yeah, so coming into, this space where I'm like, okay, what to do now? And so I don't know if y'all heard about it over here on YouTube, but essentially me teaching the course was an inspiration of 2 creators that I saw on TikTok saying they were teaching the class. One, it was holistically for her real class. She's all about accessibility. And funny enough, during my tenure at the university, I did speak at the Faculty Senate Conference and I spoke about how to leverage social media into your teaching, like how to utilize social media to teach your course. And what that does is it allows you to teach your students one, critical thinking and how to differentiate between um, fake news and real news. So like really to get them in the habit of researching and understanding how do you get to articles that are peer reviewed, or how do you get to information. Like I had to teach my students like, hey, if you ever wanted to know more about healthcare and health administration and health services and what's going on within health, you want to follow the World Health Organization, or you want to follow the National Institute of Health. These are organizations, or United Nations, and follow their health pages. They have one called United Nations Women. And so just really telling the students like, hey, these are pages that you can follow for credible, reliable sources when it comes down to looking for health information. That prompts me to my next point of the class that I'm teaching over on TikTok. It is a combination of a few classes. So I've taught ethics, um, minority health, and introduction to healthcare. And so the combination of those three classes are what I use to create racial disparities in healthcare. Now I'm looking at, before I go to that, the class that I'm teaching, it's been 12 weeks. I'm teaching over the course of 12 weeks. We're coming up into the eighth week, and there have been some participants who I did offer the opportunity for them to get the professional development certificate. Now, getting the professional development certificate allows them the opportunity to say, hey, I participated, interacted, and completed coursework for a course, a 12-week course called Racial Disparities in Healthcare. There's lectures and there's discussion board posts right here on YouTube. So the lectures are in the playlist called Racial Disparities in Healthcare, as well as the discussions. It's a YouTube in the form of a YouTube short, and you can go ahead and comment and interact and leave your answers to the discussion board post, contributing to the advancement of healthcare. The reason why racial disparities in healthcare is such an important class, or something really near and dear to me that I feel like the information needs to get out there, is because of the times that we are looking at as far as what's happening with healthcare, what's happening with accessibility to healthcare, what's being taken away, um, how people are being treated as far as healthcare. There are so many implicit bias, and just really allowing us the opportunity that to understand what we're looking at when we come in contact with these scenarios, and then being able to move forward in understanding what can we do, and how can we aid in dismantling some of these theories, right? Some of these theories that work negatively towards people that look like me. So honestly, um it's a great class. And I say that because I'm teaching it. And I've been told a time or two that I'm a great professor. Even when I was a teaching assistant, I taught at the doctoral level, um, complementary and alternative medicine. And that was a really great course to teach because, again, I had the opportunity. Happy Monday. I had the opportunity. Subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. Um, Oh, you're welcome. I decided to go live over here because I haven't been live over here on YouTube in a while. And back in December, I was going live on YouTube every day for the month of December. I had participated in Vlogmas. So I went live for 31 days, even when I was on a cruise for a week. And so I'm definitely excited about the work that I'm doing on TikTok, but I was like, you know what? I got to get back to YouTube. I got to get back to going live on YouTube because, again, many of you came over to YouTube from the TikTok, but I still have a whole audience on TikTok um that don't even have TikTok. Like I have a whole audience on YouTube that's not on TikTok. So I was like, oh my God, I don't want to leave them stranded, and I'm just doing all of this content over there. And to be quite honest with you, I was doing content before I had a number of followers, right? Because the minute that I was able to go live over here on TikTok, I was like, okay, I'll get a consistency over here on YouTube as well. But I got to get back to going live over here because it definitely is a different audience. It's a lot more calmer, and I'm appreciative of those who know me from the podcast, so they'll email me to the podcast email and say, hey, you haven't posted an episode, or you haven't been going live. And so I was like, you know what, let me let them know that I hear them, I see them, and I definitely want to come and be a part of the conversation, or have them come and join me in this conversation that is racial disparities in healthcare. For those of you that have the book already, thank you. I appreciate you. It is available on Amazon. Nevertheless, She Breastfed Despite Racial and Cultural Disparities. It is one of the books that I use in the course, published by myself. Actually, part two to this book. It's not like a part two, but there's an extension of this book that will be coming out sometime this year. I don't even know when. It's something that I've been in the works with. Um, and I've been working on it. Probably this one came out in 2020, so probably this came out in the middle of my doctorate. The next book will come out it will come out soon. I've been working on it as I was finishing my doctorate because I'm putting some of my research as it relates to women's health and what I did in my dissertation in that book. So, nevertheless, She Breastfed. I guess it'd be part two, but it probably have a different name. But it is an extension book that I could use for future references and courses, and something that I would like for other people to use in their research as well as they finish up their educational journey. But what I was saying about the book is it is available on Amazon, but some people have reached out to me and said they did not want to purchase it off of Amazon. You will have the opportunity, or you do have the opportunity to purchase it from me. The descriptions of the videos in the Racial Disparities in Healthcare playlist does give you the opportunity to purchase it either via a hard copy or a digital copy. So you just have to hit those links. As far as everything else is going, I am just really, really excited for how far we've come. One thing about me, I thrive when things are consistent. So when I said I was going to do a 12-week class, just know the 12-week class was ready before I even told y'all that I was going to be teaching a 12-week class. It was already laid out, it was already in the plans because I always have believed that prior preparation prevents poor performance, right? And so if we're going to have a great performance, if we're going to perform well, we have to be ready. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Also, some great things for Black Girl Say Something as it relates to the podcast. We still post an episode every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch up on old episodes, there's a playlist right here on YouTube under the podcast section. Those are all of the episodes. I connected the podcast, the Spotify, the Apple, Google, Amazon, Podvine, iHeartRadio. I connected all of that to the YouTube so that when I post an episode in my podcast creator account, it will go automatically over here on YouTube. And what I like about it is people can leave comments on the podcast episodes. Unlike other platforms, you can't really leave a comment per episode. Like if you listen on Apple Podcasts, you can only leave a review. Or if you listen on Spotify, I think you can only leave a review unless I turn the comments on. And I don't have much of a following on Spotify to have the comments on, so I don't. But maybe I should probably turn it on. Maybe people do want to comment on the podcast. Um, we also are on Patreon, so that's a new link that I've added to the host of links that we have. But what I did was, I'm a business owner. My business is Top Notch Eyewear, and I created a landing page on as an extension to my business page that has a get to know Dr. Appleton. So it has everything, including my son's business, his journal that him and I co-published. He created it, I edited it, his business, as well as the podcast, the Patreon, books that I've written, because there's other books outside of the Nevertheless She Breastfed, if you're interested in that, articles that have, interviewed me and have been published as far as the work that I've done and the work that I'm doing. And really and truthfully, there's a new episode. Exclusive content and episodes are over on the podcast, on the Patreon. And to join the Patreon is free. If you want access to the exclusive content, then those different pieces of content do cost. So we did record an episode. I had a special guest. I'll tag her YouTube right here on in the description of this live. I'll tag her once this uploads. But we had a very healing conversation about what it's like as two people who are currently in the middle of a divorce, but what it's like living through that, right? Because sometimes I think it's easy to say, okay, well, you live life after the divorce. But life don't stop just because you're in the middle of a divorce. You have to continue with life, continue through life, and get the healing so that this way, when it's all said and done, you can feel the freedom. You don't start the living after the divorce is done. You have to kind of live through it. And so there's very much an empowering and healing conversation about that. There is a cost for that drop because it is an exclusive episode. It was in studio, had to be edited and all of that with an engineer. So